Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another installment of our video PowerPoint series for Unit 4, Cells. Today, what we're going to be talking about are cell organelles, which are basically the components of the cell that help it function through day-to-day processes. They're kind of like organs, but inside of a cell. So today we're going to be talking about each one in depth, explaining what they do and where they can be found. So let's go ahead and get this thing started, shall we? So the first one we're going to be talking about is the cell membrane. The cell membrane is found in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. The description of it is a film that surrounds the cell, so it goes ahead and keeps everything nice and together, kind of like cling wrap. Its function is it controls what enters and what exits the cell. So think of it like this. It's kind of like a security guard at a factory. It goes ahead, controls what comes in and what goes out. So as we can see here, this is a diagram right down there of what the cell membrane looks like. The cell wall. The cell wall is found only in plants and also fungi, bacteria, and algae. Not in animal cells though. We've been over this before. If cell walls were in animal cells, well, we wouldn't be doing that much moving. The description is it's a rigid cell wall that surrounds the cell membrane. So the cell membrane was surrounding it before. The cell wall is an extra coating on the outside of that. The function is it provides the cell's shape and also gives it support and protection. So if you go ahead and look down here, what we've got is the cell wall found inside of plant cells. You can tell they're plant cells due to their rectangular shape. Let's go with blue. Their rectangular shape and the fact that we have all of this green chlorophyll in here. Dead giveaway that it's a plant cell. The cytoskeleton. So if it has the word skeleton in it, chances are it has something to do with structure, support, and basically keeping everything together. So the cytoskeleton is found in all eukaryotic cells, plants and animals. The description of it's made of proteins, which are containing microfilaments, microtubules, intermediate filaments, and basically what this does is it connects the cytoplasm with the cell membrane. So it ends up connecting the fluid-like jelly that we call the cytoplasm with the cell membrane. It kind of stitches the two together and keeps everything in order. So the function, like we said before, provides structure, support, and even movement. And if you go ahead and look down there, we have another example of what this looks like. The nucleus, yes. The nucleus is found only in eukaryotic cells. That's kind of a giveaway because that's the main component of a eukaryotic cell. Now, a eukaryotic cell has a nucleus, so the nucleus kind of acts like the brain. It contains genetic information and DNA. So its function is the control center or brain of the cell. It basically controls everything that happens inside of the cell. Now, inside the nucleus, we have a few specific things that you need to be aware of. We have the nuclear envelope, or membrane, which is the membrane that surrounds the nucleus, keeps it all together. And we also have the nucleolus. The nucleolus is the dark spot at the center of the nucleus. What this does is it's responsible for making ribosomes. So that provides the blueprint for the ribosomes that make the proteins. So if you go ahead and take a look at this outside covering would be our nuclear membrane or envelope, and this dark spot inside the nucleus would be our nucleolus. So if you go ahead and take a look at this in an actual cell, you can see that the dark parts, the surrounding would be our nuclear membrane, and our nucleolus would be right here. So nuclear membrane keeps everything nice and together. Nucleolus is the dark spot in the middle. Speaking of ribosomes, ribosomes are also found in all cells, both prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Their function is they make proteins for the cell. Proteins are pivotal for any living thing. They need proteins, because remember, proteins can be things that go ahead and help build the body up, regulate functions inside the body, and also trigger responses. So a description of the ribosomes, these are found in eukaryotic cells that float freely or attach to the endoplasmic reticulum, another organelle. In prokaryotic cells, they float freely in the cytoplasm. Float freely. That's way harder to say than it should be. But anyway, so what we have here is this is an endoplasmic reticulum, this first picture down here. So the ER would be this yellow thing, whereas the ribosomes would be the dots on the outside. So in an actual cell, it looks something similar to this second picture down here. Once again, the yellow being the endoplasmic reticulum and the red dots being our ribosomes. So speaking of the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER, it's found in all eukaryotic cells, and the description is it's a series of membranes. The rough ER has ribosomes attached, and the smooth ER does not. Now this comes into play later, because the function is they transport lipids and proteins through the cell. We have two different types. We have the rough ER, which goes ahead and has ribosomes on its surface and produces proteins. So, the whole reason it is rough is because it has these little studs or ribosomes all along the outside of it. Now, the smooth ER, on the other hand, goes ahead and transports lipids. So think smooth like butter. That's what goes ahead and basically means we're talking about lipids. Lipids are smooth, fats, smooth ER. The mitochondria, the mighty mitochondria. Yes, these are found in both plant and animal cells, basically all eukaryotic cells. It's a large oval organelle with a double membrane. The function is it provides energy for the cell by converting large organic molecules to energy during the process of cellular respiration, which we'll talk about way later on down the road, I think in the second semester. So the mitochondria kind of looks like a kidney bean with a bunch of squiggles inside of it. Now, this right here, this inner portion, is our second membrane. So we have the first membrane on the outside, and we have another membrane on the inside. Now, inside that second membrane is where all the magic happens. That's where all of the energy is made. So the mitochondria is kind of like the power plant that goes ahead and generates all the power for the cell. Without the mitochondria, we couldn't create energy. And no energy, well, no life. So chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are found only in plants and algae. They are large green organelles with a single membrane. The function is they are responsible for making sugar via photosynthesis. So the dead giveaway that you're looking at a chloroplast is it contains chlorophyll, which is a green pigment. So if you see green, you better believe you got yourself a chloroplast. And as always, there's a little picture down here showing you what the chloroplast looks like inside of a cell. Now, fun fact, these can actually move inside of the plant cell's cytoplasm. And they'll move depending on where the sunlight is. So the Golgi apparatus, or just the Golgi body. The Golgi body is found in all eukaryotic cells, both plants and animals. The description is it's a series of flat membrane-bound sacs. They kind of look like a stack of pancakes. The function is through the process of they process the proteins made by the ribosomes. So what they do is they go ahead and package these proteins in vesicles or little storage boxes and secrete them out of the cell. The Golgi is kind of like a shipping department or FedEx or UPS, anything like that. So as you can see here, they look like a flat stack of pancakes. Now, just to get off on a side tangent here, personally, I like waffles better. You know why? Because waffles are like pancakes, but they have syrup traps. They go ahead and keep all that syrup where you need it to be. Well, anyway, enough about breakfast. So like I said before, the Golgi apparatus, series of membrane-bound sacs that go ahead, process protein, package it, and ship it out, much like a shipping company. So vesicles are the storage containers. They're found in all eukaryotic cells, both plants and animals, and they are parts of the ER Remember, the ER is the endoplasmic reticulum, and the Golgi that have been pinched off. So basically what happens is, whatever they want to ship, they go ahead, let's say this green thing is what they want to ship, they go ahead, push it inwards until it pinches itself off and makes an enclosed little capsule. So these are located inside the cytoplasm because they're moving throughout the cell. And the main function is they are a storage bag or box for proteins. So if the Golgi is the shipping department, the vesicles would be the storage boxes themselves that are shipped. Our vacuoles. Vacuoles, their function is they are large organelles used for storing water and waste products. So they are found in all eukaryotic cells, both plants and animals. And the description is they are responsible for giving plant cells their shape. Animal cells, they do have vacuoles, but normally they're one or two very small ones. The big difference for this is, think about it. They store water, right? They're like water storage tanks. What type of cell needs more water? Plants or animals? So in a plant cell, let's go ahead and use something that'll show up. Let's go red. So what we have here is inside the plant cell, we would have an extremely large vacuole. The vacuole basically goes ahead, stores all the water, and provides the shell with its shape. If the plant cell is getting a lot of water, which it likes, you're going to have a very big vacuole and a very rigid cell. Meanwhile, if you don't get enough water, the vacuole is going to shrink, causing the cell to lose its shape. A lot of tongue twisters today. I'm sorry about that. Let's keep going. Lysosomes. Lysosomes are found in all eukaryotic cells, both plants and animals. They are small, round organelles with a single membrane. They are digestive organelles, and their function as digestive organelles is to break down molecules and eliminate waste products. They're kind of also called suicide sacs. So what these guys basically do is they're kind of like janitors. They go ahead, or engineers, they go ahead, they break down what doesn't work, fix it, and recycle the parts. So you're going to find lysosomes all throughout plants and animal cells that are just basically doing cleanup duty. The cilia. So cilia we actually talked about before with bacteria. They're also found in animal cells. The description is they're a short hair-like projection that helps the cell move. So the main function is once again movement. So these would be our cilia, these tiny little hairs that stick off the cell. You can see them again if you go ahead and look close right up at the top. Now cilia are found only in animal cells because plant cells don't move. Remember, they're stuck there. They have that cell wall that goes ahead and keeps them in place. And you can see both of these pictures down here. Ah, yes, the flagella. Ah, this word's fun to say. So the description is it's a long whip-like tail that also helps the cell move. Now these are also only found in animal cells. So the flagella, or flagellum, sticks off the back of the cell and acts like a little propeller that goes ahead and shoots it through the extracellular fluid. Now what we have here, these are little sperm. So the sperm have these flagella coming off the back that go ahead and help them swim to the egg to help fertilize it. This is a bio class, come on, you knew that was coming at some point. Anyway, so flagella, little whip-like projections that go ahead and help the cell move. And finally, last but not least, we have the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is found in all cells, both prokaryotic and eukaryotic. What this is it's the jelly-like substance inside the cell that keeps everything together. It keeps it all nice and, well, keeps it from spilling out everywhere. So it holds all the cell organelles in place and keeps them apart from each other if need be. It kind of acts a lot like Jell-O. So you can go ahead and put fruit, candy, broccoli, I don't know what to put in Jell-O. I haven't made Jell-O since I was a kid. But anyway, you can put this stuff inside the Jell-O and it'll keep it there. Much like the cytoplasm, if you go ahead and have the organelles inside of it, no matter how much you move the Jell-O or the cytoplasm itself, the organelles are going to stay where they need to be. That's not what they look like. So with that brings us to the end of our little organelle discussion. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. So just in summation here, what we talked about were the various organelles, what type of cells they're found in, their function, and a brief description, as well as what they look like. So, if you have any questions, please go ahead. Don't forget to bring them to your teacher. And until the next episode, I will see you next time. Until then, you all keep it classy.